What happens when you take your pickleball game to a court that's less than perfect? Not just embarrassing missed shots. Bad courts change everything. Your shots, your joints, your strategy, even how you feel when you walk off. Today, we're diving deep into playing pickleball on a bad court, what exactly changes, why it matters, and how to adapt or avoid it. This isn't theory. I've pulled facts, data, expert sources, and real player experiences. If you play outdoors or even indoors on sketchy flooring, you need to see this. What makes a court bad? First, what exactly do we mean by bad court? Here are some features. Cracks, chips, potholes in concrete or asphalt. Uneven or sinking patches, low spots, puddles. Worn-out coatings, faded, eroded surface texture. Or drainage, leading to water accumulation. Slippery surfaces, especially when wet, or surfaces that become slick after wear. Surfaces with inconsistent firmness or cushioning, maybe some parts softer, some harder. These defects aren't just cosmetic, they change how you play. Physical effects, ball behavior. Imagine you serve, expecting a nice predictable low bounce, but the ball skips, or it pops higher than you thought, or it dies halfway, drops flat. That happens a lot on a bad court. Let's break down why. Bounce height and speed variability. Hard, smooth surfaces, concrete, asphalt, tend to give higher, faster bounces. A good court with consistent coating gives you consistency. A bad court? Cracks, divots, worn patches, unpredictable bounce height and speed. Dead spots are patches where the surface absorbs energy, so the ball loses speed or bounce. One example, dirt or debris under tiles or coatings can cause soft bounce, the ball won't pop. Spin and trajectory changes. Textured, rough, or damaged surfaces alter how much grip or friction the ball gets. Spin-heavy shots, top spin, side spin, may behave very differently. Some players note that spin is amplified in worn surfaces or surfaces with grit. Also, angles of bounce may be less predictable if surface is uneven. Slight slope in a crack or tile misalignment can change the bounce angle. Ball durability. On rough surfaces, the balls wear out faster. The plastic dents, scruffs, or even cracks sooner. Concrete or asphalt with rough aggregate wears down the ball quicker. Effects on the player. It's not just the ball, your body feels it. Here are the main changes when you play on a bad court. Joint stress and impact injuries. Hard, rigid surfaces, especially bare concrete or old asphalt, do not absorb shock. Every jump, sprint, pivot, your knees, ankles, hips feel double. Over time, this leads to pain or injury. Falls or worse. Slipping on worn or wet surfaces often leads to scrapes, bruises, or worse. For older players, more severe injuries, wrists, hips, are more likely. Fatigue and movement limitations. Uneven ground forces you to adjust constantly, shorter steps, more balance corrections, more caution on footwork. That uses more energy. Slippery or inconsistent traction. You can't push off as confidently, you might reduce speed or avoid certain movements to avoid risk. Mental, strategic adjustments. You'll start anticipating weird bounces. Maybe you play safe dinks instead of riskier angled shots because you don't want errors. You might change serve strategy. 8 flatter serves if high bounces bad in bad spots. More cautious play, less full swings, more placement, less speed because damage or error cost increases. Safety risks and long-term consequences. Beyond performance, the risks can be serious, and they often sneak up on players over time. Injury increase. As courts degrade, risk skyrockets. Slips, falls, and trips over cracks or uneven spots become more frequent, especially when surfaces are slick from weather or wear. The difference between a well-maintained court and a poor one can literally be the difference between a harmless stumble and a painful fracture. Even minor missteps on bad surfaces can strain ligaments or cause rolled ankles that sideline you for weeks. Wear and tear on equipment and body. Balls scuff faster. Shoes lose grip sooner, and paddle grips degrade from rough, uneven flooring. For your body, the story's worse. Chronic joint pain, cartilage wear, and tendon strain develop subtly when you repeatedly absorb hard impact from unforgiving concrete or asphalt. Long-term play on bad surfaces can even shorten your athletic lifespan. Reduced lifespan of court itself. Neglecting maintenance, failing to resurface, seal cracks, or fix drainage, causes courts to deteriorate exponentially faster. Once moisture seeps under layers, damage spreads, increasing repair costs and forcing closures. In many communities, that means fewer safe, playable venues for everyone. Real data and studies. Let's look at what the data says. From Pickleball Court Go, surfaces like concrete/asphalt show higher bounce but more pressure on joints, while softer, acrylic or cushioned surfaces reduce joint stress but reduce bounce or slow speed. A report on bad bounce, dead spots, shows courts where debris under tiles causes significantly lower bounce in certain spots, enough that rallies are disrupted and players complain. Articles note that many of the injuries are tied to older players playing on hard-worn courts. Lack of shock absorption plus uneven surfaces increase fall risk. While there's no giant database at giving precise percentages for how much bounce is lost versus injury risk, the qualitative consensus among players, court builders, and injured parties is very strong. Bad courts equals more problems. How to adapt your game on a bad court. If you must play on a bad court, or want to minimize harm and ugly mistakes, here's how to adjust. Use proper footwear. Invest in shoes with good cushioning and grip. Avoid flat-soled shoes. Check tread. Worn-out soles on sloppy courts equals slip risk. Warm up extra. Stretch joints, ankles, knees, hips. To balance, proprioception drills, single leg hops, etc., so you can adjust to uneven ground. Adjust shot selection and strategy. Use more conservative shots, lower trajectories, fewer aggressive spin shots, unless you are confident court is consistent. Favor shots to more consistent areas of court. Avoid areas you know are cracked or uneven. Serve flatter if bounce is high. Reduce speed if bounces are erratic. Anticipate dead spots and bounce variability. Before matching, walk or bounce lightly across the court to test bounce in various areas. Observe where the ball bounces off weird. Avoid relying on those for defensive or aggressive moves. Protect your body. Limit intense play duration on bad courts. Alternate with good courts. Ice, rest after play. Strengthen supporting muscles, calves, quadriceps, hamstrings, core, hip stabilizers. Advocate for better courts. Talk to park or facility management. Pointing out safety risks, slips, injuries can help motivate resurfacing or repair. Suggest resurfacing, recoating, adding cushioning, sealing cracks, improving drainage. When a court is too bad, know when to walk away. There comes a point where a court is just too bad. Here are red flags that mean you might want to find another venue. Large cracks or holes that can't be avoided during play. Surface patches that are very soft or sloping toward puddles, especially after rain. Persistent dead spots that mess up shot rhythm and feel. Slip hazard, surface is slippery even when dry or frequently when damp. Very low bounce unpredictability, you feel you can't rely on anything. If several of these are present, your fun and safety are being compromised, and that's not worth it. Case stories, player experiences. Here are some real player observations. One player who plays on cushioned courts said, the ball doesn't bounce nearly as high, and there can be dead spots. They noticed a 10 to 15% less bounce compared to concrete courts. From another thread, people dislike sport courts or modular tile floors because old surfaces under them cause unevenness. Bounce becomes unpredictable. Some would rather play on almost any other surface. Many warn, playing on concrete outdoors with cracks leads to erratic bounces and more cautious play. These voices back up the science and expert observations. So playing pickleball on a bad court changes everything: ball behavior, your body, strategy, safety. But doesn't have to ruin your game. Here's what you take away. Recognize bad court features and how they impact play. Adapt your gear, strategy, movement. Know when it's not worth the risk. Push for better court maintenance. If you found this helpful, smash that like button so more players get this info. Drop in the comments what bad court experience drove you crazy. Dead spots, slips, weird bounces? And don't forget to subscribe for more pickleball science, tips, and real deal advice. Play smart, stay safe, and get the bounce you deserve.